There's another place in the heartland where innovation and ingenuity are being rewarded, Vermont. It's known the world over for some outstanding dairy products. In fact, the Green Mountain State is probably one of the cheesiest places in the heartland, and we mean that in a good way. Pat McConaughey takes us to the small town of Cabot, Vermont, where we discover how dairy farmers and cheesemakers are working together to make a better cheddar.
Vermont is already well known for its maple syrup, but you may not know that Vermont also claims the largest number of cheesemakers in the country. And Cabot Creamery in the town of the same name is by far the largest in Vermont. Founded in 1919, Cabot Creamery is a cooperative of dairy farmers who wanted to do something more with their milk.
And what we are is a way for farmers to come together and improve their livelihood by working cooperatively, pooling their milk, and then trying to find the best value for that milk.
For these heartland farmers, that means turning their milk into a value-added product, such as aged cheddar cheese or creamery butter and yogurt.
And to the extent that we're able to be profitable year in and year out, that profit comes back to our farmers.
Small family farms like this one in Stowe make up the membership of the Cabot Cooperative. There are about 1,300 of them, and they take real pride in the milk that goes into making this cheese.
Paul Percy milks some 650 cows on his Vermont dairy farm. He joined the co-op in 1965.
Guarantees you a market, guarantees you payment. I can produce whatever I want from milk, and I got a place to ship it every day. And it's pretty important.
When it comes to cows for his dairy operation, Paul has some definite ideas on what he likes best.
If you want to buy cattle, you can buy Holsteins a lot better than any other breed. Jerseys are harder to buy than Holsteins, but Jerseys produce higher butter fat, higher protein.
The Cabot Creamery plant uses up to 500,000 pounds of milk on an average production day. The milk heading for the production line gets tested for bacteria and butterfat content before it even enters the plant. It's then pasteurized to kill bacteria. After that, the cream is skimmed from the milk and the whey is separated out by reverse osmosis. The milk is then processed in long open vats. Cheese cultures and an ingredient called rennet cause the milk to gel into curds. Those curds are then tightly packed and drained. The result here? Cheddar cheese. But there's another important step.
You can do everything right from the farm right through to the cheese making, but if it's not handled correctly after it's made, and I'm referring to the aging, you can cool it too fast, you can cool it too much, you can not cool it to the right temperature, so therefore it doesn't age out properly.
It takes about 10 pounds of milk to make 1 pound of cheese, and the total time from the vat to the aging rooms is about 3 hours. Cheeses that require aging spend anywhere from 2 months to 3 years in cold storage. Like a fine wine, this cheese will be watched as it ages. But just because they found a successful format, the cheesemakers here aren't afraid to experiment.
We're constantly going out to seminars and stuff and learning new things that are out there and trying new stuff. We're always fooling around with a new type of cheese, whether it be a tomato basil or a horseradish.
Reacting to market demand, Cabot produces light cheese with less fat in addition to a dozen traditional varieties. Cabot Creamery not only markets them to wholesale and retail outlets, but at their visitor center as well.
Very good. So this is a real treat to come here. My husband was from this area before, so he said he knew of the Cabot cheeses.
It's hard not to like something that comes from cows. It's a beautiful country, and we've enjoyed ourselves up here. Come up here at least once or twice a year.
Visitors come from across the country to tour the plant. Fall is a particularly busy time with visitors who come for autumn colors as well as cheese.
There's a lot of pride in this, right from the farm straight through the making of the cheese. We want it on display. And even though all roads don't lead to Cabot, Vermont, we have between 35 and 50,000 people a year who make that trip.
Today's cheese industry in Vermont continues to grow. The state is turning out 70 million pounds each year, and Cabot wants to make sure that number just keeps on growing.